Well, here we are again, the two of us together, taking this crazy chance to be all alone. I'm gonna warn you, I've already taken an edible. I'm out here in California, so you already know what the deal is, bro. All right. I guess this past week has been kind of interesting in terms of the reach on social media. So many things have happened. And once again, I find myself in the middle of controversy. For some reason, I just cannot stay out of trouble, I guess. We got to talk about this whole Grandma Holla situation. We got to dig into it. All right. So let me tell you, just set the ground level here. I do not, as a content creator, consume a lot of other people's content. I just don't. I'm not sure what people are doing. I'm sort of like I'm so busy doing my own thing and trying to, create an excellence that I just don't have a lot of time to see what everybody else is doing. And so, most people who are super popular, I see the videos, but I'm not super invested. Even with Chef Carmen, y'all remember Chef Carmen and Tay. At one point I was really invested in that, right? But then now it's I gotta work. I got stuff to do. So I really haven't been tuned in a whole lot. But Grandma Holla. So of course we've all seen the videos that come across our timeline or our screens, and scrolling, you've seen it. No doubt some of us have tuned into the live streams when she was alive. But if you've been under a rock, and I don't know all the pieces to the family, but I know there's a family. The matriarch, 97 years old, diagnosed with stage 4 cancer and passed away a couple of days ago. But she was this really spunky personality, super loving, but just kind of shot from the hip and tells you like it is. Toward the end of her life, she gained a lot of notoriety for how seemingly she would talk, she would just say it straight. And these are things like relationship advice or money advice, right? And that was the appeal, right? That's why people liked watching her. People like being a part of that particular community, is because of what it is that she did. There was a comical aspect to it, but also you could tell that this was somebody who's super real. So matriarch, there's other people. I don't know if these are daughters or granddaughters, or I don't know what they are or who they are in the family. I didn't tune in that closely. I know there's somebody named Shell. I don't know if that's Michelle or that her name is actually Shell. I don't know. And I don't know if she's a granddaughter or a great granddaughter, but you guys are going to tell me in the comments. So who these people are. I'm just setting the groundwork for the conversation for today. So when I would tune in to the live streams, and I'm going to be very honest, I've only seen maybe one live stream and maybe 3 or 4 videos. So I'm not super invested, but obviously as a content creator and someone who makes his living off of social media, I'm aware of who she is and what she's about. Typical black family, right? Seems to be loving. Coming from a very similar black family, I also know what goes on behind the scenes, right? And I'm going to just go and say it. Agree with me, disagree with me, doesn't really matter. They would, when it first started, and they would put the videos out, or the live streams of her, and things would be on TikTok and whatever, you go, okay, this is cute, this is funny, da-da-da-da. It's I call it the Leslie Jordan effect. You know how Leslie was just like himself? He shot from the hip. He was just his normal bubbly personality. He would say things that would just be astronomically funny, and we would all fall in love with him, right? Same thing with Grandma Holla. But here's where the difference is for me. When I would see the few videos that I did see, it didn't, like, I'm watching someone who is stage 4, terminal illness, not having all of her faculties about her, right? But there's a camera in her face because at this point, you got to get the people what they want. You know, you start this slippery slope of putting information or putting content out there that people seem to enjoy. Now you got to keep doing it over and over again. Only problem for me is it starts to lose its luster in terms of comedy, and it starts to pick up for me a little bit of like exploitation. I'm just gonna go and say it, right? So I would watch it, but it would be sort of cringy for me because as I'm watching, I'm also seeing someone who I don't think has all of her faculties about her. I don't think she's all the way there. And I'm not even sure if she realized the impact of what was going on being on social media, right? How many people were, granted, I feel like she knew she was being recorded and she knew there were some people that knew about her, but I don't know to the degree in which she knew. Like, do you really think somebody who's 97 years old fully, even in their right mind, fully understands the capacity of what it means to now be viral over the internet, right? And if being viral or what you know about it doesn't run parallel, it runs perpendicular with perhaps your core value system, who you are, who you've grown to be, that could be an issue, right? Like an internal battle that begins to be fought. So for that reason alone, that's one of the reasons I didn't really find an appeal in the videos. I mean, you know, plus some of the stuff she would say, like the vulgarity, and you know I'm all for cussing, so I don't have a problem with that. But it just didn't apply to me, right? It felt like it was more toward, you know, young or middle-aged women. So, and I'm neither. Some would tend to argue the way I act might be indicative of female characteristics, and that's okay. I'm confident in my manhood. But at the same time, I just didn't think that the content really, you know, spoke directly to me. So I didn't really consume a lot of the content, and particularly didn't consume it because, again, seeing what I thought was a little bit of exploitation. So now you have people invested. John Q. Public is into it. John Q. Public wants to see what's going on. You gotta constantly feed the beast. We want more, we want more, we want more. Right? In doing that, especially with the live streams now, what ends up happening is you start getting all these views. The one time I tuned in, there was probably 100,000 people watching the video at one time. I don't know what the average is. I don't know if this was maybe an anomaly or if this was lower than normal. Because again, I never really consumed the live videos, right? And once the live video is over, you can't go back and see, like, let's say a live video ended on Monday and today is Friday. I can go look at the number of views, but I can't tell how many people were concurrently watching the video. I can just tell how many views the video was garnered since it was introduced. So with that many people watching, so I know what I make on Facebook, right? And my views are a fraction of those. So let's just say on a good month, and let's call it November, right? Because that's when like my Super Bowl is, right? With the food content, I would probably get, with replay potential, and depending upon what it is, if I make it just a month of hits, I could probably get 400,000 or 500,000 views with replay potential per video, right? Some of the videos, no doubt, would probably hit the 1 million mark. It depends on what it is, like if it's macaroni and cheese or smothered chicken, you know, stuff people like to see, you know, and especially if I troll you. So if I say, let's make potato salad without potatoes or something like that, then everybody's tuned in. They want to see what's going on, right? So if I did 3 live streams a week times 4 weeks, that's 12 live streams. And each live stream averaged around, let's just call it 400,000 views with potential ad revenue with no dings or like, I don't have any like violations or warnings and all like that. On YouTube I do, but not on Facebook. That would garner me somewhere around 100, in between like $80 and $100,000, right, in ad revenue. Totally is possible to do. I advised against it, but we could talk about that in another video. If I know what I'm getting with that many views, I can only imagine what grandmama and her family are getting with their views, right? So there's ad revenue money coming in because you're monetized, and that was confirmed with even what Shell said on her video, which I'm going to dig into that in 1 second. And Latrice Allen also confirmed it. Comedian Latrice Allen, they confirmed it. So, all right, you have that ad revenue coming in. People were donating. Now, the night I tuned into the live stream, they was opening cards and money was like piling up. Here's $40, $30, 25. Like it was just piling up. Money, donations people were giving were piling up. So you got cash left and right, and you have ad revenue, right? I don't know how else they're monetized, but that's enough to prove the point I'm getting ready to make. So you got all this cash, and you have typical black family. And listen, if you're not black and you watching this, let me just try to help you out a little bit, right? Black folk are already behind the 8 ball, right? We don't have the same advantages as white people. We don't have the same opportunities as white people. We don't have the same capital investments into the progression of our life as the same kind as white people. We don't have the same levels of success as white people. And this is not necessarily putting the blame. I'm just laying out what the reality is, right? And this is a systemic issue. This is not something that just sort of popped up, and it's not something that can be solved by doing one piece of activity. You have to think about change management in a gross format in order to come back and think about how we are able to correct what's been wrong at this point. This funnels over not just from black folk, but also the black families as well, right? So if you compare the average black family to the average white family, you can see there are disparities that are huge, right? Even things down to survival rates, the health of the family, the financial wherewithal of the family, all these things change, like the mental health of the white. And I'm not saying it's everybody, right? Because there are anomalies and there are deltas. But in this particular case, I'm talking about the law of averages. So if you're not white or if you're not black and you're watching this and you're going, what is he getting at? I'm laying the groundwork to let you know that black folk are behind, present company included. We're undereducated, we're undercapitalized, we're underinvested into. We have to fight literally for everything that we want, which is just equal rights and the respect. So anyway, you have a black family who has now been catapulted into a level of popularity that, one, they're not accustomed to, two, that's never happened before for them, right? So now what happens in the psychology of a mind of a person who is now at the point where they are thrust into an opportunity that wasn't there before, number one, right? So what goes on in their mind, right? Because I'm going to be very honest with you, as somebody who's gone viral dozens of times, there is this a little bit of an adrenaline rush to do it again and again and again. And dare I say, an unhealthy adrenaline rush, right? Because like an addict or anything, you want your next fix, right? And if you're not getting your next fix from a space that is safe and a space that is comforting, you'll get it from wherever it feels good. So now you have a black family behind the 8 ball, exploiting the matriarch of the family, and now in a particular space where they're thrust into the limelight and they're not prepared for it. Okay. That's enough right there. So the other day before I cooked live, I was like many of y'all, this might be the same thing for this video. I'm just scrolling. I wasn't even scrolling. I think I had just opened up my phone because I was putting the individual, I'm live on like TikTok and Facebook at the same time, all those. So I was putting up my main cell phone, logging in to, I guess, Facebook, and then this video popped up, and it was video of Shell in the car, and she was in the car with someone else. I don't know. I guess a relative, I could assume, but I don't know what kind of relative. So she's in the car with the relative, and the part I get caught up on as I'm setting up the cameras is she's literally like going off about not having money, needing money for a GoFundMe to pay for the funeral. She had made some points, like she said, one thing I heard her say is like her teeth. If she was trying to prove to us, so she was like, "Y'all think I got money? You think I got money? If I had money, you see my teeth would be fixed. We do our own hair. We don't even go to the salon." And then whoever the person that was driving, they were parked, but she put the camera on that person and showed that I guess a family member had just done the girl's braids. So she's saying all this to us on the camera. And I guess the gist of it is they need money. They don't have it. People are starting to talk about, well, if you're so popular, where's the money? If you knew that she had a terminal illness, why is there no insurance? This, that, and the third, right? So I saw the video. I didn't even have time to process what I saw, and I just went live, right? So I'm cooking live, the liquor is flowing, doing my thing. And then I comment on the video that I had saw. And I guess it must have pissed people off, because next thing I know, when I'm off live, my cell phone, my text messages were blowing up, my inbox was blowing up, the comment section, I said, God, whatever I cooked, was it that good? Like whatever it was it that amazing? I don't even know what I cooked, but child, it wasn't that. Okay, it was not that. Honey, I had pissed off a coalition of people that I don't even know. I'm talking pissed off. So then it had come to my attention that two things happened. One, Shell had made a comment, and then Latrice Allen had made a comment. They made comments while I was still live, before I had gone back to address this, without ever watching the video, right? So I think Shell heard the video, or somebody may have told her, like, Darius is talking shit about you. So she made a post, right? Not even knowing what I said. And then I guess that must have ticked off Latrice Allen, who had been working with them behind the scenes on some stuff. So she says, and they both were making comments, right? And I think Latrice did 2 live streams. So I went back and watched another one where she had talked about, being messy, being gay, being a male, having a large platform. We should be there for those who have smaller platforms, this, that, and the third. All right. So I went back on live when I had got done cooking, and I realized what had transpired. And I just laid it out, in terms of what I said, which I will reiterate here. The people kept saying, well, why are you talking shit about the family? And I said, well, what did I say that was derogatory? Like, what did I say that was negative? Because honestly, I don't remember, number one. But I said to myself, when I had to explain this, so if I'm going to be negative against someone I don't know, wouldn't I have to have some sort of merit or license to be able to do that, right? So like, I don't know Tamika. Tamika don't know me. I'm making his name up. Tamika don't know me. I'm talking shit about Tamika, but I don't even know her, right? So number one, wouldn't I have had to know Tamika in order to speak negatively about her, or have some idea about who she is? Like, wouldn't that be number one? And then number two, why would Tamika, not knowing who I am, even be upset I'm talking shit about her if she can agree that we've never met before and I don't even know who she is, right? So you have those two factors playing a part into this entire conversation. And I'm like, yo, I don't know these people. Why would I talk negatively about somebody I don't know? Further, I had to clarify that I only commentate and I only discuss what's already out there. Now, do I have intel and inside information on stuff? Yes. Do I bring it to social media? No. Will I talk about it once they talk about it? Yes, because I couldn't wait until Karina said some stuff that she said about Carmen, so I can go back and talk about it, because once it's out there, then I can talk about it. So I guess she had got mad, child, because I was talking about her. Or better yet, talking about the video that she had done and commenting on that video. And I guess she got really pissed off at me about that. I don't even know why, because I don't know that woman. And the Bible is true. Paul wrote it. A hit dog will holler every time. Selah. Anyway, so now I'm doubling down, right? Because I know what kind of money you can make in social media. All right. I've shown y'all receipts. The proof is out there, Doc. You can make a killing if you do it right. Right. So the money's out there. Number one. Number two, I don't know the history. I don't know when the Lord diagnosed or put the cancer bug in sis. I don't know. I don't know when her first appointment was. I don't know when the radiologist did the scans and the oncologist came back and whoever do what. I don't even know. I don't know when the oncologist discovered the polyps. Right. I don't know if this was something that could have been excised and removed, or if it's something that you just gonna be terminal and you're just gonna deal with it and you're gonna get up out of here. You see what I'm saying? I don't know any of this information. I don't know how old sis was. I don't know if she was in her 40s or 50s when she was, because I don't know any information about grandmama except she didn't have no insurance that I know. Okay. And this conversation should not even be about and will not be about insurance, because that's beyond the point. Life insurance is there for people, catch this, who are not financially secure. Okay? It's going to be hard. Let me explain this, because I know y'all looking at me crazy. It's hard. And before I clarify this is also a conversation based on socioeconomic factors as well. People who are loaded rarely have life insurance, right? Because guess what? They don't need life insurance. If you got $4, $5, $6 million sitting in the bank account, right? And that money through a will is allocated to your beneficiaries, and your whoever is the head of your estate, and they're supposed to make sure all of your affairs are in order. What's life insurance for, right? And again, am I saying all rich people don't have life insurance? I am not saying that. I am saying of the millionaire friends that I have and the multimillionaire friends that I have, my best friend included does not have, and they do not pay a life insurance policy, because at this point in their life, if there is an untimely demise, there is enough cash that has been generated in that person's life to take care of whatever has got to be taken care of. Now, that's a hard concept to swallow for people who can't imagine what $1 million looks and feels like. Okay, let me just say that, because I know people are going to be like, huh? I don't understand. But you got to hear me carefully. There's a litany of people, or a litany of people who can, and there are a litany of people who cannot. The ones who cannot, that's why there are systems in place to handle when they cannot. All right. Hope that makes sense so I can move on. We know she didn't have life insurance, and we know they did a GoFundMe because they had to pay for the funeral. I offered to pay for the funeral. I did. I offered. The Lord put it on my heart. Give me the number to the funeral home. I'll call them right now, give them my credit card number, pay for the funeral. But then the grandson came back and said the funeral had been paid for, but it was $12,000 missing. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just telling what they said. So now we go into no insurance, asking them for GoFundMe after we know that there was a voluminous amount of money made. There he is. And my edible is starting to kick in. So if this takes a turn left, I'm sorry. Log off now. There he is. How you know that they had made some money? You ain't see Latrice Allen on live stream? Which one? The one from the other day? No. What she said? Oh, Latrice Allen has said that they gotta pay taxes out that money. She gonna owe about 30, 40, 50, 60,000 dollars. She said how much? She got to pay taxes out that money. About 30, 40, 50, 60,000 dollars. You say what? Oh, she got to pay taxes out that money. 30, if you got to pay 30, 40, 50, 60,000 dollars out of anything, then that means you made it. Huh? As someone who frequently writes multi 5-figure checks to Uncle and Auntie Sam and Samantha. You know, it's 2023, child. You got to, okay, all lives, not all lives. What do you call it? All genders matter. Okay? All genders matter. I ain't with that all lives matter bullshit. All genders matter. Yes, child, left, not right. Center left. I mean, I could be extreme Democrat, extreme left. I'm more like, I'm a centralist. Because some stuff, we'll talk about that next time. Anyway, so she had, if you got to pay that much in tax, that means you had made a lot. So the question still at this point is where the money at. Now, I ain't followed too closely, but I'm going to tell you one lie I already caught. Latrice even verified this. The girl said it on the live stream. Shell said it. You might remember this, Shell. You might see this video. Hey, Shell, girl. If you need a potato salad recipe for the what you call it, you let me know. All right. I don't know who doing the potato salad or the cabbages, but I make the best cabbage. So if you need a recipe for the cabbage, call me, okay? I mean, you probably don't want to call me, but I'm here for you. I know what it's like to lose a grandmother. Okay? So if Shell said that she had just bought a new car. Latrice said she bought the car to take the grandmother around for her appointment. I told you, I know this family, they're good, but one thing I do know, if the physician, the oncologist, called down to the 4th floor hospice department, ain't no more appointments. Huh? I don't know much about life, but one thing I do know is if the 9th floor oncology clerk called down to the 5th floor or the 4th floor hospice department and they put your manila folder with the letters and the color coding, you know, red, green, blue, purple. They put that, if they put that into the tube and put the tube into the machine and it go up in the air and then go down to 4 or 5, ain't no more appointments. That was your last appointment. Huh? God gave us wisdom to know that time is drawing now. Now she lives 97 years. It's a beautiful life. Beautiful life. And loved by many. But ain't no more appointments. Shell, what appointment you taking sis to? Sis can't go to no appointments. Shell, she on hospice. Why you tell us you bought a car to take her to her appointment? She ain't got no appointments. Huh? Okay, so that much we know. Where else the money went, I don't know. Honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even care. And this video was already long enough. The big picture is we have to deal more with legacy and estate planning, end of life planning, and insurance. If you know you don't have enough money sitting in your account to do what needs to be done when the Lord call you home, because you ain't going to live forever. The lady was 118 years old over in Italy. She just died. You're not going to stay here forever. It's going to be, we all got to go. It's going to be sad. When I go, I don't want no funeral. I told my best friend, if I go, before you go, put me in a box, burn me up, and sprinkle me in Mexico. Don't have these people I don't know looking over me, talking about something, we going to miss him. No, you not. I'm going to get out their casket and scare the shit out of everybody. You understand me? It don't really matter how much money y'all had. But the reality is that there was some. And now you got to go fund me. And then the family arguing. And the family is arguing on social media. Y'all can talk about me and do this video all day long. Number one, it's about 30 minutes into this video. You still watching. Number two, you know I'm telling the goddamn truth. You had all this money that came in. Y'all should have been setting something aside for the film. But then you got all these people in the house, you know, trying to take care of her, trying to get clout, trying to do this, trying to do that. And that's the hard part, especially with us, you know, in our families. This ain't the only one. The family fucked my husband. You remember that? You know? Sadie, don't you know we love you, sweet Sadie? Place no one above you, sweet Sadie. You remember the Soul Food? You remember they was making that 7-Up with the peach cobbler? 1 year. Next year, old chair was empty, child. Well, you know, we all gotta go. But the big picture is you got all this family around fighting, arguing over the money. What y'all should have been doing was talking to a financial advisor and a business coach. I heard they did apply for an LLC recently, but you should have been had one. The moment your first video got some traction, you should have went and got you an LLC at that point. You should have made sure all the payments that came from Facebook went to a business, not to a personal. With the LLC, or either you could have did a corporation, you should have had officers named. You should have sat down, had a family meeting with everybody involved and come to some conclusions at that point. Then you should have got with a business coach, because what you could have really did while she was still alive, is you could have had her do birthday shout outs if she wanted to. And with her consent, you could have done, merchandise, and there could have been inspirational quotes, and there could have been an inspirational, like the landscape is wide, you know. You could have done videos where you could have recorded, like with her permission and her understanding what's going on. This could have really been more of a family business, right? But now you go to social media to vent. You go to social media, you let us in. And Shell, let me say this before I go. You can't have it both ways, sis. You cannot come to social media, want us to listen to you, watch you, love you, share, like, comment when things are going great, and then when things take a turn for the worse, now all of a sudden we have to be quiet. You also can't come to us and be upset with us when we commentate on what you have already stated. See, if you wouldn't have said anything, we wouldn't be talking about it. But because you said something, now we're having the conversation about it, right? And lastly, Shell, you could be upset with me all you want to, but all I did was say what everybody else was thinking. Let me go before I get in any more trouble. I love y'all. All right. That's my explanation. That's what happened. And before I take it away, I'll add more to it. I'll talk to y'all on my next video. I love yous. Bye, y'all.